So hello guys, welcome back to my channel. You're wondering, why am I featuring the Chevrolet Tracker again? One, because I wanna show you guys why this is my favorite subcompact crossover, and number two, I wanted to do a solo review just based on this LT Redline variant, because of course I already did my first review with featuring both LS and this LT Redline. So yeah, I wanted more seat time with this, and they didn't showcase that much of this LT Redline top of the line variant. But also, if you wanna check out my first review of the Chevrolet Tracker, the link of that will be in the description down below. And I also want to thank Ma'am Jen and Sir Nolly for making this review possible here again in the new Chevrolet Makati dealership. So I'm not a big fan of black colors with crossovers. However, for this Tracker LT Redline, it is really good. I mean, just look at it. Yes, I still disagree with some of the reviews that this looks like the Camaro, but the Trailblazer looks like that even more. So on its own, this is still a handsome and awesome, aggressive looking design for a crossover. I'm still fanboying to this day. I mean, I have no words for this design. This is probably also the best looking in its class. Also, I tend to notice more, since there's better lighting here, there are more creases and more aggressive character lines here on the hood and as well here on the side profile. There's also very nice S character line as well on the side. Even the rear, there's a lot going on. Also, being the LT Redline, top of the line variant, you get red accents on the side mirrors and on the alloy wheels. Yeah, it does look good and black for once. And also on the side profile, it does hide the cladding even more. So the looks little bit more aggressive and stealthier in my opinion. And also there's red accents here on the grille. And being the Tracker LT Redline, your Chevrolet bow tie now is black. And also what's nice, aside from the bow tie badges, there is no chrome whatsoever. And here in the front, you still have LED lights all around for this top of the line variant. I also love that this is your turn signal. It's a bit low, but it is long enough and very bright enough. And also what I noticed now on top of this LT Redline variant against the LS variant, since this has a panoramic sunroof, I don't know what you call that part, sorry, but look at the LS variant, it is way longer now. I'll just correct myself and scream on what that is. Also, against the Trailblazers, as you can see there, these roof rails do function. I really don't get what the Trailblazer roof rails are for. I mean, it's close. I have no experience with roof rails, by the way. That's just something I noticed. And speaking of the Trailblazer, why I kind of prefer this now, again, than the Trailblazer LT variant? That's kind of what I want right now. However, I kind of want this back again. I kind of redact everything I say because the Trailblazer is just a bit longer, wider, and taller only than the Tracker. I mean, if you have the money to get the Trailblazers, go ahead, right, and buy them. But I would say get this Tracker instead. I mean, I'm never fanboy to a crossover before. There are two crossovers now that I fanboy, but this is now one of them. But I wanna drive this again to see if this is still my favorite. Also, ground clearance is still the same for both variants. It's still 161 millimeters. And now here at the rear of the Chevrolet Tracker, if I have an awards here on my channel, I would take this as the best design for a crossover. The only chrome here again is here in this bow tie, but I do love it. So open this boot up. Oh, it's locked. Hold on. One nitpick only with this Chevrolet Tracker. I just wish the keys Chevrolet bow tie logo was also black. That's it. And also, I didn't notice this in my first review. For the LT Redline, you get a silver skid plate, but for the LS variant, it's just blacked out. Same with the Trailblazers. And also, let's unlock this. Open the boot up. There's also a reverse camera right here. So with all the seats up, you have 390 liters of space. Not the most spacious in its class, however, it is plenty good enough. And also there's a space saver donut type tire underneath. And then you have only one light there in the back. And then there are just two grocery hangers on each side. And also there's a tonneau cover here. It's thick enough. And with all the seats down, you have 845 liters of space. And with the folded to roof figure, that means the maximum allowable capacity, it is 1,278 liters. So here in the interior of the Chevrolet Tracker LT Redline, also I redact everything I said with the Trailblazer. I mean, the door thuds of those sound good, but for me, this one's just a little bit better. I mean, just listen to this. Perfect. So here in the interior now, I didn't feature it that much. Also, there's a nice animation now. I didn't notice that the first time with the Redline logo now. The LS variant only had the normal Chevrolet logo. So here in the interior, just the same in the LS variant. However, there's more red stitching here and there now. And the one in the dashboard, the leather material here, it is now black. I'll be honest, I do prefer the blue just a little bit in the LS variant, but this one, it suits it even more, hence being the Redline variant. So you have the leather here on the door cards. There's also a red stitching. Also nice texture on the speakers as well for both sides. And then you have a Calvi space and a bottle holder on each side. Okay, the speaker is weirdly placed. However, my water jug still fits, so it's still a pass for me. And also the cup holders here in the center console, my water jug fits as well. And then there's a space for your phone. Okay, does not fit my phone because the space is just a little bit narrow for my phone. And here in the steering wheel, still somewhat the same complaint. My complaint with both trackers, the stitching is just a little bit rough. However, the leather part, it's hard, it's girthy. It's your usual crossover. And then here on the left side, it's still blank despite being top of the line variant. But now, since being the LT Redline, you have a black bow tie in your steering wheel. I do prefer the black bow tie for some reason than the regular one. And that's why you still have the same 3.5-inch monochromatic display in the middle, flanked by 2 analog gauges. And then here on the left side of the dashboard, surprisingly, it's clean. I forgot all about that. Most of the light controls are here on the left side of the stock, so at least there's more space for this air conditioning vent. Now it is wide as well. I mean, all the air conditioning vents here is wide. I've driven this already. The air conditioning of this tracker is sweet. However, I will compare this with the Trailblazer because I noticed some things that are present here than that is not in the Trailblazer, which I find very, very weird. So continuing here, you have your 8-inch Chevrolet MyLink infotainment system. It is still crisp. You only have Apple CarPlay though, but there's still your Bluetooth. The speakers sound okay, they're decent. And then above here, you have your panoramic sunroof. As you can see, this is why I prefer the LT Redline just a bit more because of the red accents. And you still have the panoramic sunroof. That's what I like. You still have the controls for your lights. This is LED by the way, and your controls for your panoramic sunroof. And then you have your seatbelt reminders here. I didn't mention that in the first review. I know. Oh no. Okay, this is supposed to be a place for your seatbelt reminders. However, it is just blank. I know this function in the Trailblazer. Okay, so this is something that the Trailblazer has and the tracker doesn't. And since we're up here, visors, you have only a mirror. There's no lights here. They don't extend, but it's thick enough. And also what they did notice now for both brands, I didn't mention this before, you have no stock for your rear view mirror, so it does give it a clean look. That's a lovely touch. And then here the dashboard, there's silver trims here all around for all the air conditioning vents. And still here in the center console, it's old school. I mean, there's chrome knobs here and there. And then you have physical buttons for your climate control. And then that's still that one blank button here. And then the other weird thing I mentioned before, to lock the Chevrolet Tracker, it is right here in the middle. It is a weird, quirky feature, but I don't mind it. And then you have a very deep cubby space with 2 USB ports, 1 aux cord, a 12-volt socket, and you can fit 2 of my phones here. Glove box, okay, still pretty decent. And also what they didn't feature in my first tracker review, the seats of this Redline. I mean, the red accents, the red stitching here and there, and it still has the maong type here in the middle. I love it. Even the center console backlit has red stitching, and the seats feel somewhat the same. I don't know why this feels just a little bit better, or maybe it's just been adjusted like this. And then also what's weird, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my first review, you have electronic adjustments for the seat forwards and backwards, but for your reclining it is manual. Anyway, it's still okay. And also what I like with the Chevrolet Tracker, there's not much gloss black. There is, but it's only here in the gear lever. And for changing up and down the gear, which is still on the side, like every other American car. And then yes, like before, you only can engage a manual mode if you put it in L mode. And then yeah, as I said, there's still 2 cup holders here, and at least this has a manual handbrake unlike the Chevrolet Trailblazer. And then center console box. Okay, that is deeper, and it is way more spacious, weirdly, than the Chevrolet Trailblazer. Yeah, so that's about here in front of the Chevrolet Tracker. I'll show you the rear seats, and disclaimer, I will compare it a lot with the Trailblazer. So here, the second row. Yeah, door tads sound way better than the Trailblazer, but the Trailblazer is still not bad. And speaking of the Trailblazer, this is where things get a little bit different now. And I'll be honest, sitting here in the back, because if I ever want to get this, because my mom and friends will majority sit here in the back, I think it is best if I have the tracker for them. I mean, the amenities here. And also being top of the line variant, this has a central armrest. That's something that Trailblazer Premier doesn't even have. I'm sorry, I'm just being honest with that. And also, there are flimsy grips on the central armrest, but my water jug, okay, just fits. You still have the leather seats with the maong stripe in the middle, but it's only just here below instead of the whole seat from top to bottom. And then here, unlike the Trailblazer, this only has one seat pocket just for the right side. And unlike the Trailblazer, this even has two USB ports. Anyway, you still have that nice texture with the speakers here for both sides, and then you have a smaller cubby space now and a bottle holder. Okay, my water jug won't fit anymore here, and the door cards now are all plastic. There's no more soft touch here and there. There is a transmission tunnel, but it is not too tall and it's not that wide, so you can just simply put your feet beside it or on top if you want. If I sit here in the middle, my headroom will get little bit eaten only, but I'm still very happy to sit here in the middle. And also what I noticed compared with the Trailblazer, the floor of this is way lowered. So feet room and knee room is way better. Yes, again here on the side, headroom is just a little bit eaten up. But also I did notice, the panoramic sunroof stretches only all the way here. Like more than 3/4 or just more than halfway only. So it does not eat headroom here in the rear seat. So nice design for that. And also you have one dome light here. And that is literally it with this Chevrolet Tracker. Amenities, just being honest, it's way better than the Trailblazer. And also, I haven't said this in a while, you have two ISOFIX anchor points on each side of the seat. And also, what I did notice now, unlike before, look at the design of these seat belts for the front passengers. That is a really funky design. So that's about it here in the rear of the Chevrolet Tracker. I'll show you the engine again. So this is the engine of the Chevrolet Tracker LT Redline. It's a 1-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine that produces 116 horsepower and 175 Newton meters of torque. And it is mated to a 6-speed automatic transmission. There is a very big heat shield. Like the Chevrolet Trailblazer, they have very big heat shields. Of course, being a turbocharged engine, so the heat won't go in the cabin. And of course, if you're here from the first review of the Trackers, you already know how it's like. However, since I'm here now in Pasong Tamo, I can drive it a little bit faster now and see how it performs. And I want to prove something from this and the Trailblazer. So with that let's go for a drive. Here you go again inside of the Chevrolet Tracker LT Redline, and let's explore it. I love that sound. And thank God, I thought this exact unit had the long, very dangerous brakes before. At least all of the Trackers have been addressed at this point, thank goodness. It is still long, however, the bite is way higher than before. I mean, remember the first time I drove a Tracker last December, the brakes were really long, and there's just being honest only, it was kind of like air. This one, all the Trackers now have been updated, the brake feel is way better. And why I wanted to drive this thing again, I mean, one of two of my dream crossovers. And why I wanna choose this over the competition, because it's still kinda uncommon. You don't see that much yet, but however, there are a lot of people now buying this Chevrolet Tracker, so that means people are starting to like this even more now. And why I wanted to drive it again, of course, you know me, I want to flirt most of the time. I want to see how fun this is to drive at higher speeds. And also, before I forget, the reverse camera, still pixelated, still the same, however, it is still good to have. And why I prefer this now over the Trailblazer? I mean, of course, the value for money. Yes, this is 1,242,888 pesos. Before that, go manual mode. Okay, just a little bit of a delay with shifting up and down, but it's still fun. And
And then here at faster paces and corners, this engine is just wants to keep on going. And I rate back everything I said from before. This does not have turbo lag. The throttle response is excellent, and there's not much body lean at all. And the one thing I really want to redact, this has one of the best NVH in its class. Maybe, of course, in Sentis you heard a lot of tires, but to be fair, the roads there were really rough. I mean, it's a good test to try the NVH out, but here on smoother pavement, like here in Pasong Tamauli, I mean, look, not much tires. The handling is still excellent. I mean, I love everything about this tracker. I mean, it's just so peppy to drive. Yes, there are a few nitpicks here and there that I have. However, it is somewhat acceptable for me. I mean, I'm just here for the driving anyway. And also, I prefer this Trailblazer because, to be very honest, the rear seats, it has more amenities than the top of the line Trailblazer Premier, which is very odd. And it's a little bit more affordable than the Trailblazer itself. And I can say it's really fun to drive. That's first. I mean, look, you got the high speeds really fast. I love it. Just, yes, again, driving at higher speeds now, just a little bit delay with the automatic transmission if you're in manual mode, but just leave it in D, you'll find it's the perfect daily. This is actually fun to throw around. I mean driving at faster paces at corners, there's not that much body lean. It is as good as the competition as my other dream crossover, if you all know that by now. And also the steering wheel, yes, it's more on the lighter side, but there's still somewhat good feel with it. There's just a tiny amount of weight, but at no point the steering is to the point numb or dead, to be honest. This one's just the right amount. And also, I didn't give a fair comparison with its fuel economy before because I was flooring it most of the time. But now, surprisingly, I've been averaging 8.2 liters per 100 kilometers. That is really fuel efficient. And a few more things I noticed driving it, having more seat time now with this. Yeah, there's not much turbo lag at all. I don't know why before I was experiencing that. Maybe it's just that particular demo unit. This one, look, okay, it's just more of a transmission delay. Yes, like before, despite being drive mode, you cannot engage manual. You have to put it in the L mode. And yes, for some reason, comparing it with the Trailblazer, they're on par with each other, the NVH. They're both really good. But I do like the sound of the engine just a little bit more. I mean, they're both 3 cylinders. That's the characteristics with 3 cylinder engines. And also what I noticed from this tracker and the Trailblazer, despite being 3 cylinder engines, there is no shudder whatsoever. I've not experienced them, having driven a lot of times already between the tracker and the Trailblazer. And also just driving here at faster paces. Yeah, I love the throttle response. Probably one of the best in class as well. And this turbocharger is absolutely crazy. Now, would I want one? I really want one so badly. There are 2 of them. This, of course, you already know what the other one is. But either way, I'll be happy whatever I own. However, I do prefer a bit the tracker because of its looks. It's also one of the best looking in its class. This Redline kind of ticks all the boxes for me for a daily. It's fuel efficient, it's fast enough, excellent NVH, easy to drive around. Also visibility, yes, the CD pillar might be a little bit too wide. However, it is a small crossover. It is fine, we'll get used to it. However, one nitpick as well, just besides with the key, the infotainment system, there is no under the auto. That is it. Here under the tunnel, and like the Trailblazer, it has auto dim function when it gets dark. And also here, being the Pasong Tamo tunnel, it is really bumpy here, but the tractor soaks up the bumps really well. Yeah, and you can feel the suspension is just a bit firm. However, there's good balance between comfort and sporty. The brakes, I don't mind it now. You'll get used to it if you drive this way longer. And overtaking is easy. I mean, like the Trailblazer, I did notice there's not much turbo whistle. You just only can hear the 3 cylinder engine. I don't mind. And there, look, over bumps, you can feel it. The suspension is just a bit firm, but it's still no means an uncomfortable car. And also what I didn't try in the Tracker, the first Tracker review, if not mistaken only, it's been a while since I drove the first one, a U-turn test. I remember the Trailblazer U-turn was a bit wide only, but let's start this Tracker. Okay, it's not that wide. This street's just too narrow, but the turning radius is way better than the Trailblazer. Yeah, and this is why, again, why I prefer the Tracker now over the Trailblazer LT. I did say in my review, I do like the base variant Trailblazer because of its price. However, knowing this exists, and it's also the Trailblazer is not that taller, longer, and wider than this, I'd pick this personally, this Tracker Redline. They both look great in my opinion, but there's just something I like about this Tracker even more. And let's start one more time. Yep, so that concludes my review of this Chevrolet Tracker LT Redline. I want to thank again Ma'am Jen, Mr. Nolly, and Chevrolet Makati for allowing me to review again the Chevrolet Tracker Redline. And also this is kind of like my ticket to a very, very special Chevrolet soon. Hint, it's not a Corvette though. So, hope you guys like and subscribe, and I will see you with more future car reviews and more Chevrolet reviews. I want to take this home not so badly, to be honest. Bye-bye.